So, how do you stay motivated? How do we stay motivated on our plans? Because a lot of times you have a plan and then you hit a roadblock and then you go, oh, I can't be asked to do this anymore. So, what makes you stay motivated?
Well, it's interesting. So we touched on what we were going to go through on this episode, and that for me goes back to knowing your why, right? So what makes you wake up in the morning and want to do this? And you have to, as much as you map out your goal, and we've now I'm hoping we've got across the message about how you need to reverse engineer and understand those milestones. But what is it that's going to make you bounce up in the morning, right? Because if you don't understand your underlying why, then your motivation may run out. Because when motivation stops, your discipline takes over, right? But it's got to have something that's going to keep you disciplined on that track. Yeah. So you need to know your individual why, and everybody's got a different one. Like, I mean, I don't know what yours are.
When you say why, what do you mean? So you mean that why are we doing what we're doing?
So so not even that, what is your underlying purpose? So if you say, I want to be rich, I want to be successful, obviously as we said, that's fluff, right? I want to hear exactly what you want. But why is it that, what is it that's getting me up and pumped to go on this journey and build this business we're building? My underlying why is, so I've got, for instance, for me, I mean, I'm not like you've got to settle down with your family and stuff. Lord knows, maybe one day I'll find somebody crazy enough to settle down with me. But for me, I've got some underlying whys. So I've got an amazing mum, like she brought up single-handedly me and my two sisters. Yeah. And I want to be able to look after her in the later parts of life, right? And then I've got two beautiful godsons. I want to make sure that they're looked after, right? And then an underlying why for me is, I need to leave this earth having left a legacy. I know that I have the ability to change lives, and I need to give something back. And that motivates me to be able to put in the hard work and hours, to be able to deal with the adversities along the way, to be able to keep going, right? So I think it's about, when I say your why, what is your underlying purpose behind whatever your goal is? What is it that makes you want to be successful? I mean, what is yours?
Well, mine's quite simple. Well, not simple, but growing up, I've come from a very ordinary background from Wood Green. My mum, dad did their best. One thing we always had was love. But I've always been driven from a young age, and I've always said that I want to buy my mum a house. That has been something that I've wanted to do from a very young kid. I want to buy my mum a house. Yeah. I want to get my mum out of Wood Green, and I'll get my mum a house. And also, I'm now, like you said, I've said in the previous podcast, I got married this year. I've got a wife and I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and I want to live a certain life and provide for my family. And that's what I want to do. I want to buy my mum a house, and I want to provide for my family so that we don't have to struggle and maybe didn't provide my daughter with some of the things that I didn't have growing up. Yeah. And that's what gets me up in the morning every day.
See, and I think that's so, and everybody, like I say, will be different. But if you can't figure out what that is at the start, as well as what your goals are, what your milestones are, how you're going to map out how you're going to get there, then you're just not going to be able to stick with it for the longevity, right? It's one of those things where everybody's looking for the fast, the quick success, and it just doesn't come like that. Some people will have a longer game. Some people, it's a lifetime game. They don't even have an end goal. They're like, I'm just going to keep on driving on and driving on. My goal, I reach one goal, I'm going to set a new goal. But they're driven and they're on their path because they understand what their underlying purpose is, right? And the others, they're like, actually, I'm expecting success in like 2-3 months. 3-4 months down the line, well, I ain't got no success. Well, I'm gonna stop because there's nothing actually underlying driving them. Yeah. So where they are right now, realistically, they're like, well, I'm not really happy, but they don't have anything pushing them enough to really keep on track with that. And so I think it's all about, with these things, absolute clarity in your own mind. What are your goals? Be specific. Be clear about those. What is your underlying purpose behind that? Be clear about it. And it's one of those, when I ask you, I can't put you on the spot there, but when I ask you, you just need to be able to roll it off your tongue. And if you can't, again, like I said earlier, if you can't, it's not a direct issue right now, but just understand that if you've got these ambitions and you're talking these ambitions, that these are key principles that you need to get at the start as part of starting to track on that journey, right?
Well, I think when you say ambitions, it's not only the workplace or business, it's also ambitions in your personal life as well. So it's not only just having ambitions in regards to business, because what people think, when people think about ambition and success, they always think about business and their career, but you can be ambitious in your relationship. You might want to have the best relationship with your child, or have the best relationship with your partner, and then you have to your goal might be saying, well, I want to have, I want to be able to make my my partner happy, or I want to be able to buy my mum a house. If then you can be ambitious in that sense, and have the best relationship, or have the best. It doesn't have to be also. It's like with Lifessa, it's not only focused on businesses and careers. It's also life and personal. You can be ambitious in your personal life.
What's your why though? Because I knew what Ben's was. What's yours?
Like Ben, I want to have a legacy, but also I want to help people that aren't as lucky as me. That don't know as much as I know. I grew up in Broadwell Farm. People that knew Broadwell Farm had 1985 riots, and it's not the best area to grow up from. A lot of people that are in that area, I sense that they don't know how to get out of the area they grew up in. So luckily for me, I've been fortunate to have great parents and then people that have made to help me get out of that area. Nothing wrong being in the area, but just get out of that mindset of thinking. And then if I can help people like that don't know how to do certain things, and enlighten them, and not even just teach them, just show them a different way. That keeps me motivated. Because personally, money motivates me to a certain extent, but legacy motivates me further. It's like, I think when you like Gary Vee says, like we want the ultimate lottery in life. You think about it, like when it comes down to it, like all the things like I don't want to go into biology, but like one sperm does an egg, and then you know what I mean?
You're right about
the lottery of life. And then I think that if you're alive and I'm able to do it, you have a purpose, and everyone's got a purpose. I want to fulfill my purpose and I fulfill my potential, and I can't see myself just being average 9 to 5, or not even 9 to 5, average, living an average life. I want to live a life fulfilled.
It's just about not getting to any life with regrets, right? Because that's the last thing when you go and speak to people later on in their lives, you'll find it's not the things that they did and went wrong that they regret. It's the things that they could have done and they just chose not to do. So I think, it's clear that and it's good that we've just run through that, because I think it's good for anybody watching it to think, well, hold on, actually, do I know my way? Do I need to go and just review what it is? Because that's what you're going to need to call on, like to keep you going on every day. But that's what you're going to need to call on when you get knocked down. So when you just get that punch in the face that knocks you down, what is it that you're going to say, do you know what? I'm going to dust myself off, I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to go again. Why am I going to do that? Because I have to. Because this is my purpose, and I haven't fulfilled that yet, so I need to get back up and fight again. So, for me, like I say, the underlying, I think if I had to give one underlying premise and principle of this show, is it's about clarity. Absolute clarity of definition in your goals, in the milestones and the activities to get there, in your underlying why that keeps you on course for that. And it's just, I can't even touch on that enough. And like I say, it's all about that. It's like a test to me when you ask someone these questions. And the test is, can they answer you with clarity? Because if they can't, you haven't failed in that, you've failed in life. There's not failure in life, right? But you've failed in as much as you need to understand that. And if not, go away and work out what that is. And I've had it before, and people have said it to me though. When I was first starting with the ideas of this, somebody said to me at work, he's like, what is it you want to do? And I found myself, I kind of knew in my mind, but I couldn't actually articulate it. And I was like, well, if I can't articulate it, actually, I haven't thought about it enough. So then I drilled down. So that's why when you asked me a couple of weeks ago, and we were just catching up Friday night, you came around, we had Chinese, we were talking about different parts of the business and stuff, and you were like, what's the end goal? It just rolled straight off, and it's not a thing for me. Because I can say that to anybody now, because I know exactly what it is. There's clarity in my mind. And I just think what we're doing, and what I like is people are receptive to, when I'm talking to them about the idea, they're receptive to it. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. And what I love about it is the underlying purpose of all of us are, we want to reach out and help people. And I just think sometimes in life there's too much about what people want to take, and they overlook what they give back. Like, you need to be going out in life to give back to other people. And my feeling is you'll be looked after tenfold if you actually start to seek out how you can help others. So I think we all share an underlying why. My question to any viewers, anybody listening, all the subscribers on the YouTube channel and followers on the Facebook and SoundCloud and everywhere else, I would love to hear what your why is, or for you to take the test. Take the test right now. Imagine I'm standing in front of you and I'll ask you the question, what is your goal? What are your milestones? What are your timelines? What is your why? And imagine I'm there right now, and then even if you can go and talk to you, I mean, I talk to myself in the mirror about stuff all the time. Like it helps me to get stuff out. Or if you just want to take a mental moment right now to just think, hold on, actually, can I answer that question? And it's a good starting point, because if you can answer it, great. You're already on the first steps. If you can't answer it, which I would imagine quite a few people will be like, I can 50% answer it, I can 75% answer it, till you can 100% answer it, then you haven't got this part cleared off. And it's a key principle, it's a key part that you need to drill out at the start of your journny, right?
If I'm gonna ask the wife those same questions,
Skip
I'm gonna give her the test.
Put the people through the test, right?
See how she.
Yeah, I'm all for it. You're like, Ben's got a test for me to put you through. But I'm not going to tell him if you fail, because you know what Ben's like. He might be around the house knocking on the door. What's your why? What's your goal? Tell me what your why is. Yeah. So I think we've covered. I think we've covered these. For me, I feel like we've got across what I wanted to get across in this episode. Like I say, underlying principle takeaway is clarity. If you feel that there's anything that we didn't touch on this, again, like we said last week, love to see the engagement, love to see the comments back, love to see any questions that you think, well, actually, I don't think you quite covered this. Or any feedback where you think, actually, I think you might have been wrong about this, you guys. Because it's all about, not everybody's right about everything, right? So for me, I think that's, and that's all it is, right? And we're out there to, like I say, we give to get back as well what you want to hear from us more. So that collaboration, it helps us build all of this going forwards.
Okay, so so I think we've come to the end of the show. It's been a great show, very informative. Guys, remember you can find us on SoundCloud as Lifessa. You can find us also on YouTube as Lifessa Lounge for the show. We have more content coming out throughout the week, not only the podcast but more other videos on other topics. You can also find us on SoundCloud at Lifessa and on Facebook of Life Essential Advice. And don't forget the website, lifessa.com. Anyway guys, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Next week.
Nice one.
Have a good one, everyone.